How's it going? Good to see everyone. This is obviously the first time back in Indy, in a year, and really my first time going through this in Indy. So pretty cool to see everyone out here. Obviously, it's been a busy, month and a half or so. In Denver, the season. Our last game was the 8th, and then we hired a new coach, Nathaniel Hackett, on the 28th of January, and from then, it's hiring a lot of coaches and just trying to get through our personnel process as well. So we're in catch-up mode. We've had draft meetings 2 weeks ago. This past week, we had UFA meetings, and then we had our Bronco personnel meeting with the coaches. So we've got a lot done in a short time, but it's good to be here in Indy, get a good look at these players in person. And with that, I'll be happy to take your questions. Yeah, I think me just in the year. We're always going to be aggressive. We're going to be disciplined. We're always willing to move up. We're willing to move back. So, we do have 11 picks total, 5 in the first 3 rounds. So we do have that flexibility, and we always like that flexibility.
Is addressing that position, George, a priority this offseason, or how do you look at the quarterback position this offseason compared to last?
Yeah, I think it's always a priority. It's the most important position in sports, and so we're always looking. And we do have Drew Lock under contract. We have Rip, but we're always looking, and we're going to, no stone unturned to find that guy. We know we need better play out of the quarterback position, and so we're going to be aggressive.
How would you evaluate this draft class of quarterbacks, and what do you look for in young quarterbacks, especially at the college?
Yeah, I think you just get it. It's another step in the process. We got to look them in the fall. I went to all their live games, and you get to know them a little bit there. Then the ones who showed up at the Senior Bowl, that's another look. And this is just another step in the process. We'll sit down with all of them, obviously watch them compete with other really good quarterbacks. And I like this class is an interesting class. You have, 5 or 6 talented guys, and they're all different. And so we just really need to hone down and sort it out and stack them and see who's best for the Denver Broncos if we go that direction in the draft.
How much do you look at other teams that might need a quarterback, like Carolina at 6? If you fall in love with a guy, you might have to move up above that.
Yeah, that's huge. As we get closer to the draft and we kind of see what the teams filled in free agency and their needs, and so that's huge. To know what people in front of you may or may not take, and so you look at everything.
You mentioned being aggressive. How did, in times past with life and such, how did you form your philosophy of trading picks, trading up, trading back? What are the factors that play there?
Yeah, in the draft, we always want more picks, obviously. 10, we always want 10 going into each draft. And the reason I say that is, one, you have more darts and you have a bit better chance to hit the bullseye, but it also gives you a lot of flexibility on draft day. You kind of saw what we did last draft. We moved up in the 2nd and to get Javonte, and then we're in the 3rd round, and we moved back. I think we moved back twice in the 3rd round to get those picks back for Javonte, and we were still able to get the players we coveted, Meinertz, Browning, those types. So I just think the more picks you have draft day gives you a lot of flexibility to do whatever you want.
Speaking of Javonte, how feasible is it that you guys bring back Melvin Gordon? Is there any status of that? And then if not, how capable do you think he is and ready he is to maybe step into a bigger full workload?
Yeah, so Javonte, we think he's ready to do whatever, do whatever, full workload, share carries. One thing, I think Melvin and Javonte really complemented each other well. They helped each other. Melvin was a total pro, with Javonte, and I know Javonte appreciated that relationship. I've had really good discussions with Melvin. We would like to have him back. We still think he's a really good back. You can't, I think you need 2 or 3 runners in this league. They're going to get nicked. It's a tough position. But couldn't be more happy with Javonte in his first year.
Looking at this draft class as a whole, what position do you think are strongest?
Yep, still working through it, but I think there's some strong edge players, pass rushers, which everyone needs, and I think there's some strong tackles, offensive linemen, and there's some corners, we like. So I think I like the draft. I know people are kind of knocking it, but I think it's a good draft, from top to bottom. Yeah, Nate discussed his staff, throughout the interview process, and he wanted a young, diverse staff, and he was right. I mean, we have young, we have diversity. They have a great synergy in the building. And it's been really cool this past month just to see Nate work with his scouts, Nate work with his coaches, our scouts working with the coaches. And there's a lot of energy, which you always discuss energy when you're talking about Coach Hackett, but with their staff, like-minded guys, they work hard. I think they're bright young coaches. And like I said, there's a great synergy within the building. Yeah, we work through it. We just want the best guy. We don't care if it's free agency. We don't care if it's a draft. We don't care if it's a trade. We're gonna exhaust all options to try to get the best guy for the Broncos. Yeah, I'm very confident. He had two minor, they weren't minor to him, but he had two minor surgeries on the foot, and that held him back this year. He was never healthy. Going into the offseason, this is the first time Bradley's going to be healthy in, I believe, 3 years. And when he's healthy, we all know he can play at a Pro Bowl level. So I'm really excited. I think I've said this before. I really respect Bradley fighting through the injuries and finishing strong. We played Kansas City. It doesn't mean anything really for anyone except our team. And you saw how Bradley played that game. So I'm really encouraged. I think he's going to get back to that Pro Bowl level. Yeah, I think, I like our weapons we have on offense. I think we have 3 really talented receivers, 4 with KJ Hamler, and then we got some young guys that are chomping at the bit to get going. I like our tight end group. They need to get better in the run game. They know that, but really talented in the pass game. And then the offensive line, we have some pieces there. Obviously, we need to get a right tackle. And then defensively, we need to get more pressure on the quarterback. That's what it's all about. And we plan on doing that, and just more depth on defense, which every team, needs.
George, the Kansas City Chiefs with their 13-game winning streak, and how much are they brought up? Do you talk about in your meetings? Can they beat the Chiefs? Is this guy?
Yeah, Mike, they've set the standard, obviously, in our division, but we have to be we have to be more competitive against all the teams in our division, and we haven't been very good at that. I don't know the numbers, but we haven't won a lot of games in our division. That has to change for us to get to where we need to go. We need to be better at home. We have one of the better home field advantage in the NFL, and we just haven't played good at home. And so those are the 2 things that there's really an emphasis on. And you're always looking towards your division and where you stand and where we need to get better to be more competitive.
George, if I could ask you a question about the guy you didn't hire.
Yeah.
Shed some light on what he's like.
Yeah, Eric, I go way back with Eric. I consider him a good friend. Worked with him before. I think he's a great coach. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of passion. And Eric should be a head coach in this league, that's for sure.
George, you guys hired a member of the staff. Was it instructional? Can you explain?
I think Nathaniel could probably explain that better than me. I just know he's the smartest guy I've ever met. And I've seen some of his videos, I'll let him explain it because it's a little out of my, my realm, but really encouraged and the way he's going to help teach not only our coaches how to teach, but really keep our players engaged within meetings, which I think is hard in this day and age.
Why do you say he's the smartest person?
Well, you'll talk to him. Maybe he's just a brilliant guy, a high school teacher. And again, Nathaniel can expand a little bit on that. So anyway. I heard of it the first day I met Nathaniel in our interview. And I was, among other things, he blows you away in an interview, then he brings up a teacher for the coaches. I'd never heard of it, but it's pretty cool. I like it. Very progressive, obviously, Nathaniel, and our building needs that.
George, this is the first combine you're at as a GM. How different is it when you expect your week to be than years past?
Yeah, once you get through these few days, it's probably be the same. You get there early, and you have a lot of interviews, and then you're watching the workouts. The biggest difference is, to last year, no combine, right? And so you had more time maybe to evaluate. You didn't have the top 30s. You didn't have the owners' meetings. And so this year, it's an abbreviated off season, and so it's going to be a little different. I'm kind of in catch-up mode myself personally, but the scouts have kind of covered me, and so I don't know if that answered. the biggest difference is obviously doing this, you know.
George, as Nate's evaluated our roster, how closely aligned have you guys been in your opinions on certain players or
Yeah.
best use certain players?
No, I think we sat with all our scouts on Friday with our whole staff, our coaching staff, and each coach went through what they're looking for with players, and so that was very beneficial for our scouts, and so we know which of our players fit maybe, and I would say it wasn't 100%, but we were aligned on most of our roster, and we don't want to be 100% aligned. You know, so we've had really positive discussions with Nate and with his staff on certain players on our roster that fit or maybe don't fit.
Time for just two more, please.
Are you looking to add an edge rusher through free agency or the draft? And where does it stand at inside linebacker with Jewel, Griffin, Kenny Young?
Yep.
Where does it stand with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, with the edge rushers, I just don't think, kind of like corners, you can't have enough. You need to pressure the quarterback in this league. I do think we have some really good young players, you know, with Jonathan Cooper. Weatherly's out of contract, but Malik Reed, and obviously we have Chubb. But you just can't have enough. And I think there's some talented ones in free agency, and I think there's a lot of depth in the draft. And then with our inside linebackers, it's pretty unique. We have 3 guys that are unrestricted, you know, Josie Jewell, A.J. Johnson, and then how do I forget a Bruin? I don't know. But Kenny Young. So all really good, you know, good guys, starters in this league. They've proven that. You know, they all finished injured. You know, they finished the season injured, but we like them all. We'd love to bring them all back. We can't. So we're going to discuss, you know, with their agents this week of where they stand. But we'd like to have them all back, but it's going to be tough.
George, last question. Go ahead, last question.
You know, we haven't. You know, we got so many other things ahead of us. We have a little time with that. You know, Noah's a really talented player, and we want here, you know, a long time.
Thanks, George. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.